Welcome to Conquering the Conference and Making the Most of Nick. I'm Lauren Hope, and I work at Recurrent Military, the parent company of the Military Influencer Conference, and with my friend Cortez Riggs. He's the founder of Nick. And over the years, we noticed something. The Military Influencer Conference has expanded into something really special, and it's not your average conference. As new attendees are onboarding at the conference, we notice that they might be a little lost, or maybe they missed out on the opportunity to use the conference to the fullest extent possible. And as a people person who really, really loves helping people, frankly, it hurt my soul. And if you know me in real life, you know that I love loving on others and I love making them feel included. And as a serial entrepreneur, I know that opportunities lie within problems. Hence, welcome to Conquering the Conference. So I happen to be a serial entrepreneur, a public speaker, and educator. And like I said, I love to pour into others. So professionally, I actually teach people how to confidently speak about themselves and their business. I empower dreams and cultivate authentic connections through strategic leadership. So that problem we identified, Cortez and I put our heads together and we built out this session just for you. And now I understand that you can't attend the pre-conference live class, which if you want to, by all means, stop on by. That room will be packed and it will be full of many people who are attending for the first time and really want to make the most of their time. If that sounds like the kind of people that you would like to connect with and start your networking early, join us by all means. But this recorded session is to get you prepared and packed before you're on the way to the conference. My mission here is to make you feel welcome, comfortable, and really valued in this space. And we're going to accomplish this by giving you all of the necessary tools. We're going to help you build a plan for the Military Influencer Conference experience. And I want to show you how to effectively make the most of this conference so that you don't lose a minute even on your very first time joining us. Hence, making the most of Mick. I expect you to really hold me accountable to those three things: the tools, the build, and the show. Okay, here we go. We're going to cover the 5 W's: why, who, how, what, where, and when. I know that sounds really funny, right? But in all seriousness, why? Make conference goals will be one of your tools. Who are you talking to? Also a tool. I'm going to show you how to do it. And how to network. You've probably been to conferences before. I am not going to doubt that one bit. You all are incredibly smart human beings, but we do have some pointers that might make your time just a little bit easier. So hang with me on that networking one. Additionally, we will have 2 sessions that we update year after year, where we're going to review the maps. We'll give you all the tools in order to navigate the conference, as well as guides so that you know what to pack in your bag, you know what to wear and expect at the different sessions. And then last but not least, we're going to introduce you to the conference app so that you can plan ahead and design your own agenda. As you can see, we're going to do some big building here today, but it is your responsibility to build for yourself after this session. You will only get out of this conference what you're willing to put into it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a big mission. All right, I am counting on you to hold me accountable for tools, build, and show. Let's go. Attending a conference isn't just about the here and the right now. It is about setting the stage for long-term success. If you happen to be a Simon Sinek fan, Start With Why is a phenomenal book. Start With Why asks and answers the question, why are some people and organizations more innovative, more influential, and more profitable than others? It tells people that in order to lead well, you have to show your audience what's in it for them first. Now, that's why I'm going to start with the why of this conference. Now that Mick has been hosting annual conferences since 2016, Cortez has built a vibe here. And think of this vibe as the family reunion that no one actually asked for, but we really found out that the military space needed it badly. And you know what? It shows in the data too. We have over 60% return rate. So 60% of the people attending the conference or more, depending on the year, have attended it before. And that's why we want to get you prepared ahead of time so that you can fit right on in and make the most of it. MIC is the premier event for those who shape and support the military community. At this conference, I have made lifelong friends. I have picked up contract work, definitely podcast interviews, sponsorships, collaborations, employment, and business partners too. You name it, it is absolutely manifest destiny. So let's start dreaming it. The opportunity really does exist in this space. This particular session came about because our culture here at MIC is so unique that we really don't want people who are courageously attending for the first time, mind you, to feel lost or left out. So, again, consider me your tour guide and your networking battle buddy. What? What do you need to determine in attending this conference is what is your why? We can help you make all the connections and source the education that you're looking for. And surely you'll enjoy your experience. But if you don't go to the conference with a really solid idea of what you personally value and what would make this experience most fruitful for you, you don't really have a clear goal in mind. And now, mind you, you don't have to. If you're figuring it all out right now, maybe you're in transition or your military spouse who at some point lost yourself along the way and just need to find your identity again and find your people and where you fit in, it's okay. You're supposed to be here. We've got sessions for that too. You aren't going to spend the entire event shaking hands and getting amped up on this inspiration and adrenaline. And then when you finally go home to a close, you are going to do those things. But if you don't have that goal in mind, if you don't have that why, you may find yourself without anything that you really personally value other than phenomenal memories. I'm not going to let that happen. So let's talk strategy. We're going to set some goals for yourself, whether it is to network with 10 new people, or maybe it's score a selfie with one of the keynote speakers, or you know what? Aim high. Seriously, my friends, do not let anything stand in your way. Our first tool for your tool belt is long-term goals. Figuring out what motivates you. It's a perfect thing to figure it out while you're traveling here on that plane ride or road trip in. What do you need to get out of this conference in order to call it a success? Here's some possible goals that you might consider when attending the conference. No, but seriously. Um, Overall, attending conferences can be a really strategic investment in your personal and your professional growth, offering opportunities for networking, learning, and development that can pay dividends in the long run. I do offer downloadable resources that we update every single year, which are available on my website, which brings me to my next point. The second tool in your tool belt is this QR code. I ask that you pull out your phones right now and scan it. It's going to pull up a form, and here's why. I already told you, I really like to curate authentic connections. We're already connecting right here in this session, and you get the chance to know me, but I don't get the chance to know you yet. The reason I want you to fill out this quick form is because it tells me that you're coming and that you're new to the conference and that you cared enough about your time to invest it right here and then connect with me. I want to connect with you because I firmly believe in the power of the military space. Really. Um, I have met so many people when I used to host pitch competitions that I got to know so many startup entrepreneurs and teach them how to pitch who are now running 6 and 7 figure businesses and just really kicking it. My accountant I met through military networking. My lawyer, I not only met him because he's a veteran, but he does pro bono legal services. And so I've set him up with the right kind of military businesses who really need some help to get where they're going and are doing incredible things in the space. My point is, guys, there are so many opportunities here. And until you put out into the universe what you're looking for and who you want to connect with, nobody knows what you're doing. So tell me what you're looking for, and I will make it a point to make connections for you at MIC if I can. Okay? Next tool alert, laurenhopecollective.com /MIC, MIC, help me help you. I have all the guides there for individual downloads, or you can throw your email in at the top and I'll send you the full 20 pages bundled together. It is awesome. There's maps for the conference, there's suggestions on where to eat, there's a packing list, there's a whole worksheet built around how to build out these goals that we're talking about right now. There's so many good things in there. Address guides so that you know all the different events that are happening and therefore what to pack for them. So lots of good guidance from people who've been around the block at this conference. Okay, let me think about this. Before you firmly define your why goals, you really need to understand who. Who is attending the Military Influencer Conference? MIC is for leaders, entrepreneurs, brands, content creators, freelancers, photographers, videographers, creatives. MIC is for anyone who shapes and supports the military community. With content tracks that are led by industry experts, whether you're transitioning from the military, maybe serving in social impact, or looking to start or scale your business, or grow your network, there really is something for everyone right here at MIC. But why does who matter? If you served in or alongside the military, uh, you had uniforms to tell you everything you knew. They kind of announced who someone was before they ever opened their mouth, right? If someone had stars and some scrambled eggs on the brim of their hat, the room puckered up really quick because we knew it was a general. Uh, let's see. Maybe if a uniform had some chevrons or some overseas service bars, the tone of that room is generally quite different, right? At a civilian conference, you are not going to see many uniforms. You'll see a name badge, but that doesn't tell you everything that you need to know. You still need to know who you're talking to. There are going to be CEOs and producers and media moguls and volunteers and entrepreneurs and artists. And how do you determine who you're talking to? You need to network and ask. And please ask before you speak. How you present yourself may vary greatly depending on the audience. We're going to take a page out of one of my pitch coaching classes where we define who we're pitching to. 1 second here. So to better explain personas, we're going to use my longest running business, for example, and it's Hope Design Limited. It's a military themed jewelry company. It is all handcrafted and it's all made by American military spouses and veterans. Let's pretend I'm here at MIC to represent only Hope Design. My ADHD brain won't let that happen, but I will always at least represent that little piece. Pretend that's my persona for today, business owner. There are many personas of who that I could pitch to, right? I'm going to use my friend Cortez Riggs, for example. Pretend that I meet Cortez at the conference for the very first time. I learn by asking questions while networking that Cortez served it for 21 years in the Army. And that's perfect because I've just learned that Cortez could be a potential customer for my jewelry business, which I do have men's accessories and all that. I need to speak to him in a way that's going to resonate with him. But instead of diving straight into my pitch just because I learned he might be an ideal client, I'm digging a little deeper because that's what you do at MIC. Cortez would look absolutely stunning in a pair of, say, these Army button cufflinks for that Mighty 25 gala that's coming up a little later at the end of the conference, right? But through asking really good questions, I learned something more from Cortez. And this is important. He's one of the owners of Triple Nickel, and it's a clothing company. Better yet, we chat a little bit more, and I learned that they named Triple Nickel after the 555th Parachute Regiment, and they were known as the Triple Nickels during World War II. It was a unit started in 1943, and it was during segregation. And now we share some common interests. And you're like, Lauren, that was a really random fact that you threw out there. Let me tell you why. In addition to making military-themed jewelry, I also happen to collect World War II sweetheart jewelry, and I have an undying love for all things military history. You wouldn't have known that if you didn't ask questions with me while networking, right? Now, I know that I'm talking to a retail business owner, and maybe Cortez has a physical retail store where it could stock and sell my product, or maybe we could collaborate on future designs or events. Why would I stop asking questions early when I found something of interest that Cortez might be an ideal client, when now we could be ideal collaborative business partners? I would have sold myself short. So, the more I invest in getting to know someone, the more value you might discover in your mutual business needs. Now, that may seem pretty thorough, but I have not asked enough questions just yet. What if, uh, hypothetically, I learned that Cortez is so passionate about supporting the military community, so much so that he's chosen to invest his capital in military affiliated entrepreneurs? What if he has a really strong veteran based portfolio, but maybe he's looking to expand into the military spouse side of things? Um, he really wants to strengthen the diversity of his network. That's fantastic because you know what? I fit that bill. Now, this is a whole different opportunity and a whole different pitch. If I'm pitching to Investor Cortez, he might ask, why should I invest in your military themed jewelry over any other military spouse business? Now, this is when I really need to take a critical look at my pitch because while I could tell him about how each piece of jewelry is handcrafted by spouses and veterans, and it's helping with employing a traditionally underemployed segment, the military spouse community. Um, I know that that story pulls at heartstrings and it sells really well because it's true, right? But just because it makes marketing a breeze doesn't mean that it's the right pitch for Investor Cortez. Do you know what the right pitch for Investor Cortez is? Hope Design Limited has an incredibly high profit margin and has a proven track record of repeat customers who engage us every time they make a military move. And having moved the military, having moved with the military and moving the business across state lines at least 7 times, um, we've mastered our own logistics and we have an extremely reliable supply chain in place. Now, I know that I'm talking to Investor Cortez's heart. Those are three wildly different pitches. And if I didn't get to know my audience, I could have stopped at a single pair of cufflinks. But because I chose to dive deeper and build a mutually beneficial relationship, we may get to take on the world together. And all because we met at Mick. I'm going to wrap up who with something that I really want you to take to heart. I just talked about pitching my business to Cortez. Do not be that person. You're going to encounter people that will only tell you how great they are. They're going to start a conversation about themselves. They're only going to talk about themselves. And in the end, they end up being alone, all by themselves. I urge you, please be inquisitive. Ask questions of others and find value in each person you encounter. If you start with your why and you aim to collaborate, you will find your success here at Mick. How do we get to that deep of a level of connection while holding quick soundbite kind of conversations, right? I do have some of those strategic networking words. Wow. I do have some strategic networking advice and some really practical strategies to help you foster those lasting relationships and really maximize your time here at the conference. Please have your 30-second elevator pitch. Have it ready. Um, I have a friend. Her name is Rita Hicks of Nexus Consulting, and she taught me how to pitch. And she provided me with a phenomenal formula for pitching. She taught me you need to tell the person within about 30 seconds or so who you are, what you do, the problem that you address, uh, your solution to the problem. What do you bring to the table? What are the benefits? Like why you? Why should I choose you over any other business? And then a call to action. Calls to action are the most important part of this pitch. You have spent your precious time at this conference sharing about yourself and your business. And what do you want this person to do with the information? Now is not the time to be shy. People really are smart, but if you aren't direct with what you'd like them to do next, they may miss subtleties without some really blunt guidance. Um, for example, you might say, sign up for my newsletter, or buy my product, or follow my journey on your favorite social media platform, or can we schedule a time to explore my services and see if they're the right fit for your organization? We are seeking funding and looking to connect with venture capitalists, or vote for my pitch, or back my crowdfund. Can I get your number? But seriously, do not use that last one here. Mick has an incredible code of conduct policy for this event space, and if anyone is giving you the creeper vibes and being inappropriate, please notify myself or Cortez or anyone on the recurrent military event staff. We have a zero tolerance policy that we really do enforce. Um, Coming back to center here, my favorite call to action is to connect with me on LinkedIn. Actually, hold on, let me clear my notifications here. On my cell phone, let's see, can I get this here? Okay, my cell phone, that's my LinkedIn QR code, and I've got it branded for me so that you can scan it and we can connect right away. And as I walk around here and I'm offering my LinkedIn QR code, this is like my professional yearbook. Calls to action can be really as small or as large as you would like. The delivery can be serious or it can be really lighthearted too. As long as you're inspiring the action that you desire, it is effective. Right? Let's see. I have made a few observations recently. People have really forgotten how to people, right? Um, the pandemic years ago was an obvious catalyst for this, but people also pull out cell phones and they're isolating themselves in the middle of public. So, what I say next may sound really obvious, but it has purpose and it has to be said. I really believe in speaking your dreams into the universe. If you give a call to action, uh, you're going to get what you want, right? If you help others build their call to action, um, you're building relationships. And if others are willing to help you with your call to action, you're finding allies. Networking is really hard, and your time is really valuable. So, what happens when you meet someone and you've had that exchange and you've asked questions, and there just doesn't seem to be any connection? Um, Politely excusing yourself from an unfruitful conversation is something that you're going to have to do at some point, but you really don't have to be rude about it. One of everyone's goals here should be to make meaningful connections. If one isn't working out, leverage social cues and possibly help them, and maybe they can actually help you too. Here are a couple of examples that you're welcome to try. Um, have you met anyone that you think might be a good for me at Mick? Um, what makes you think that they might be a good fit for me now that you've heard my goals? That's fantastic. I would love to meet them. If you see them nearby, can I ask you to make an introduction? Thanks. I really appreciate it. All right. Good luck on your networking today. Or, um, thank you so much for sharing about what you do. Before the next session starts, I'm going to go take a break and I'm going to go recharge a little bit. It was really nice to meet you. Now that you know who you're spending the next couple of days with and you know how to network effectively, what are you doing here? Hmm? Let's talk about that what and what are the options for personal value here at Mick. Sure. The Military Influencer Conference started out, like I said, back in 2016. When it started, the word influencer has a different meaning than it does today, right? It has evolved. Um, it wasn't about social selfies. It wasn't about how many likes and follows you could get. It was about being a change maker. You're a person of influence. You're a world shaper and an impact creator, right? Over the years, Mick has grown so much that Mick really, I'm not saying this right. Influence isn't the only word anymore. It's not the right word. It's not the only word. Cortez invited attendees based on the notion that anyone connected to the military community is a military influencer. And influence, it happens through collaboration by those that inspire, innovate, are inclusive, and they generate impact. Next tool alert. When we get into the agenda app, you're going to see that all of the sessions are labeled with at least one of these 5 pillars at MIC, and this is to help you connect with the content that fuels your goals. The 5 pillars are inspiration, innovation, influence, inclusivity, and impact. Inspiration is content that motivates and inspires, keynotes, right? Innovation is thought leadership that's centered around entrepreneurs, founders, change makers, and creators. For influence, this really is now the modern day interpretation. So, this is community relationships that drive those who lead by content. Inclusivity, all are welcome here. The diversity of our community is what makes our community really strong. We're at roughly 40% veteran attendees, 25% military spouse, about 20% active duty, maybe 10% civilian, and roughly 5% Guard and Reserve. We even have patriotic supporters too. You don't have to have a military connection to be here. You have to have a desire to be with us, to be here. That's it. What you may find surprising about this conference, especially for a military conference, is that our ratio of female to male attendees. We have 55% female attendee to 45% male. And better yet, based on last year's numbers at least, we have over 60% of those attendees that are returning to MIC for at least their second time. I know I mentioned that earlier, but you're about to find out very quickly that this is that family reunion that you did not know you needed. You were not born into this family. This is the community that you chose. You're going to see it. You're going to see reunions in the hallways. You're going to see it at the lobby bar at all hours of the day and night, mind you, and embrace it. If you are a veteran of MIC and humoring me for this orientation for whatever reason has you here, I urge you, please make seats at your table, foster the newcomers, and let your vibe continue to attract the incredible culture that we've all built together. Circling back, lastly, impact is culture and advocacy, and it's inclusive of nonprofits. This Conquer the Conference session is my way of nurturing the culture here at the conference, and so it's going to fall into the impact pillar because it offers impactful insight that we're providing in this session, right? The conference was curated with intentionality. So next, let's talk about what is on the agenda, when is it happening, and how do I make sure that you don't miss it? We're going to go into a separate segment here so that you can have it updated year after year. I will see you right back here in just a minute. When you walk into the first floor of the Signia Hilton, over here on our map, it is a stunning lobby first floor. I will tell you, a lot of family reunion action happens in this lobby because it is a sprawling space with abundance of seating. So join us there. You're going to come over here and check in at the front desk. If you need the concierge, they're located somewhere back up here. Here's lobby bar area, and here are the elevators. Please keep in mind with the elevators, there are 2 different banks of elevators. One goes to the lower floors and one goes to the higher floors. So please take note of what floor your reservation is on and make sure you get in the right set of elevator banks. In the back of the first floor is the Friendship Market. This is where you can go and get hot coffee drinks anytime you like. There's pastries and little grab and go kind of marketplace things. And let's see, there are ballrooms and event rooms back here, but we're actually not using any of these during the Military Influencer Conference this year. There is a second group at the hotel and they will be in this space, so you won't need to be back here in these blue rooms. You'll notice that I've labeled the Magnolia Green event lawn. There's an outdoor green space here. We do host outdoor receptions as well as early morning workouts between the Magnolia Green and the Home Depot yard. Moving up to the second floor, I have kept the entrance here just to give you a solid compass. There is a stunning set of stairs. If the front desk was here, you'd come this way, you're going to walk right into the parade deck. Parade Deck is a podcasting platform that will be doing all sorts of incredible interviews throughout the event. So if you have a little bit of spare time and you'd like to just sit down for 20, 30 minutes, go see who's speaking on that stage. There are some really awesome and slightly more intimate conversations that happen there. And when I say intimate, I mean it's being broadcasted to, the entire internet world. Not that intimate, but there is some comfortable seating there as well. So join us. I know that Travis would love to have you. When you come loop around this way, there is the Triumph pre-function lobby. This is where registration is. This is where check-in is. And after registration check-in, this is where the help desk will remain. So if you need anything throughout the conference, this is the best place to connect with any of the conference or recurrent military staff that are on hand. You're welcome to alert us of any issues or, we'll be happy to answer your questions. In addition to some of our main sponsor booths being out here, we will also have a Starbucks coffee cafe on that first day, so come check out Starbucks. Going into these rooms, I will admit this map is actually backwards because this is how it was laid out in 2024. We have made some small changes for 2025, and by small, I mean this chunk right here is going to be up here. So up here, we will have the Triumph General Sessions. This will be our main stage. This is where it all happens. You'll know you're in the right place because there's at least several hundred, if not 1,000 chairs and a giant stage. Can't miss it. When this room is not in use, it will be closed down. But behind it, see how it says Triumph Breakouts here? That will actually be right here. This is going to be the VIP dining area. If you have purchased a VIP ticket or you are a speaker with a VIP ticket, you have breakfast and lunches included with your ticket. So this will start with lunch on Monday and it will run through Tuesday and Wednesday with breakfast and lunch. So please join us. There will be set hours for this VIP dining, and it's going to keep you within the footprint of the conference, and it's going to keep you with eyes on your mission. So join us there. If you do not have a VIP ticket and you'd like to upgrade and it's come to the moment of the conference, I know that the tickets on the website do shut down at some point ahead of the conference. You're welcome to come ask in the Triumph pre-function lobby area to see if there are any opportunities left to upgrade your ticket, if that's something that interests you. Now, the Triumph Ballroom Marketplace will now be this half of the room. The Triumph Ballroom Marketplace is our expo hall. We have, so many booths, so many people that are military affiliated, military supporters, military brands that would love to meet you. Please go through there. There's going to be resources, there will be nonprofits, and there's going to be the Expo Hall stage as well. For the Expo Hall stage, it is our second largest stage at the conference, and so you will find it. I believe it is tucked right back in this corner of the I guess it'll be this corner of the marketplace now that it's down here this year. So forgive me on that one. The career fair is no longer back here. This year, it's going to be in the marketplace. So if you're on the second floor, you're in the right space. Just listen for the music, ask questions. You'll be able to find what you're looking for. Again, the elevator bank. Moving up to the third floor, which is the only other floor that is involved in our conference. Something I neglected to mention, there are escalators from the first floor. So if you walk past the Friendship Market, you will see escalators that come up to the second floor. Over here, just past the elevators, going up to the third floor is a set of escalators. That is probably the fastest way to get from the first to the third floor at any point in this conference. And there's rarely ever a bottleneck. So when in doubt, just use the escalators. So third floor, when you come up, I have the elevators here and the escalators. Yep, it's right there. Look at that. This orange space it's a reception area for all of these breakout rooms, and it is a phenomenal third space. if you are remote working from the conference and you need to get some things done, there's some fabulous seating. It's a lot like what one would expect at a Google headquarters, where just lots of variety and ability to plug in and get things done. And you can certainly use the hotel Wi-Fi there. When you go down this hallway, you will notice there are all the magnificent rooms. Now we have rooms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All of these will be in use at the Military Influencer Conference this year. So when you're looking through the agenda app and you see magnificent followed by a number, this is the area you're aiming for. This is where you're going to find all of our workshops, all of our breakouts, and all of our different activations that are happening. Let's see, going up to the 4th floor, which you can get to by elevator only. This is the dining floor for the hotel. The large grate-off area is part of their kitchen, so you're not going to have access to back there. But coming up the elevators, when you come out this way, Capillinea is their beautiful fine dining sit-down restaurant. When you walk in, you'll see a little bit of fun chaos right here because the Atlanta Falcons play at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so the Falcons Nest restaurant, which is their sports bar, will be right here. If there are any games happening, this is a very lively area. If the lobby bar isn't quite your vibe, definitely go check out Nest. You might find what you're looking for there. Homespun is it is a stunning buffet. When you think of like a hotel buffet breakfast, this is not your quick in and out service. It is not, but it is beautiful and it is delicious. So come see Homespun for breakfast, lunch, and I believe even dinner. You're welcome to walk the restaurant before you take a seat. Check it out. Also, if there are any events on the open air event deck, so this is a 4th story green space outside, you are going to walk from the elevators through Homespun and out the doors right here. Over here is going to take you to the red parking deck that I mentioned earlier for this particular MIC. There is a walkway over to all of the parking lots for the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. All right, moving right along. Welcome back. In addition to the maps, where to eat matters. There is a list on my website for where to eat, and it's all of my favorite restaurants. There's a couple of lists. There are some of my favorites. They may not always be close, but they're really good and worth the journey if it's what you want. There is a list of what's nearby for the hotel, and there's also some conference, like hotel room survival hacks. So every budget can be accommodated through these suggestions. Additionally, there are always unique options that we add for every conference to make sure that you have the opportunity to keep networking and keep accomplishing your mission, even through mealtime. Go to laurenhopecollective.com/MIC, M-I-C, all those guides that I mentioned before. All right, tool alert, Huva. Yes, it is pronounced Huva, not Huava, however, Huvier. No, it is Huva. I did, in fact, Google this, and I went to the YouTube channel of Huva and heard it from their training text themselves. So, promise, Huva. This is our conference app, and if you have not yet downloaded the app, there is some serious value in Huva, so I strongly suggest that you do. It has the agenda. It's interactive. You can add agenda items to your calendar on your phone, so your phone can send you alerts, and you know exactly where you wanted to be. You'll thank your past self. There's interactive conversations all over. If you have any questions after watching this video, go post them. There is a first-time attendee chat in there, so you can go and your answers will actually help other people. We will have people working at the conference in there answering them live. You can schedule meetups. You can find your people based on your interest. There is an official how to use Huva video and a step-by-step guide for FAQ. And it's all linked on my website, same place as all those other guides. The first 3 steps that you're going to want to take with Huva, you're going to want to check in at registration. That is usually your first stop for the conference, right? Check in your hotel room, check in at registration, just get acclimated. I want you to peruse the agenda and select those sessions that you're going to be attending and add them to your personal agenda. Please note there's always a welcome reception the very first night of MIC. You can't miss it. It is so much fun. And it is that first night where all that conference energy has just been popped wide open. So people are really ready to see it and connect. Um, Lastly, make sure that you attend the main stage Welcome to Mick opening. Um, you're going to get to hear from our founder, Cortez. You're going to get to hear from really, really powerful speakers. Anybody that's on main stage has absolutely worked and earned the right to be there, right? Our final tool this session, I do send out texts and emails throughout the conference, and I really recommend you signing up for these. If you don't know what you're doing and you really want someone to kind of hold your hand and tell you about those things right before they happen, I will literally send you a group text message, not group like everyone responds and it can't stop responding, like a one-on-one text message. I will send out a bulk blast text message so that you know when the main stage event's going to happen, when the reception's going to happen, and where you should probably be for some of these major things. If you want those reminders, happy to provide them to you. I normally ask in the room when we're live, is there anyone that's speaking at MIC? And I'll give them an opportunity to pitch for 30 seconds and let all the new attendees know who they are, what they're about, and how they can support them, right? That 30-second pitch. If you want to come and hear from the speakers that are really fostering this kind of culture, they're going to show up in this live class. So come join us for round 2 so that it really sticks and you can absorb more information, because I know this is like a fire hose right now. This conference experience is like a deck of cards. You shuffle, you deal again, win, lose, or draw, you're going to learn here. Set the table and you're going to get better each time that you do. So go build your own MIC destiny, right? So those 3 goals. Did we accomplish tools, build, and show today? I absolutely love kicking off the conference this way. And my ask of you is this. Listen for the music and go where your heart is called. I'm telling you to set an agenda right now, but also remain flexible too. Opportunities, they're going to lie in places that you least expect. And if you're listening for the music that calls to you, you're going to find those unicorn moments here at MIC. I'm Lauren Hope of the Lauren Hope Collective. And again, we're empowering dreams and cultivating authentic connections through strategic leadership. If you haven't already done so, please connect with me on LinkedIn. It's at Lauren Hope Collective, it's my handle. And I would love to cheerlead you on your professional journey, or you're welcome to follow mine if you want to see more. Thank you for joining me here at Conquering the Conference and Making the Most of MIC. And I hope that I've provided you all the tools that you need in order to conquer this conference with confidence. I look forward to seeing you, and I can't wait to hear your amazing pitch.